Hi, I'm Vera. I'm a 4-time survivor and the founder of the nonprofit Breast Cancer Goddess and the for-profit The Cancer Goddess. And I'm here to educate you about spiritual, mental, and physical healing in regards to cancer. So please enjoy this programming. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday night talking about cancer fighting nutrition. And you don't see her on my left because she's cut off, but my friend Helene is here. Hello.
Hi, glad to be here.
Actually, I'm not going to cut you out because you're here to learn too. So, and let's see. Can you scoot? Can you move that big old pillow and scoot a little?
Yep.
So little. Come on, Helene. And what is your story, Helene, with your nutritional story? Because you have a nutritional story, right?
Right. Well, I used to weigh 258 pounds.
Whoa, you weigh 258 pounds?
Yeah. 5'2".
Are you serious? I can't even imagine you because I've known you now. I don't know how long I've known you.
A long time.
Like what, 20 years?
I think about 20 years.
Wow, holy moly. And so tell me, you were a big woman because you're not that tall.
Right.
You're large and in charge.
Yeah, I was pushing size 26.
Oh my God.
So I was starting not to be able to find clothes even in the large women's stores.
Jeez.
And I thought,
wow.
It was interesting. I'll just tell you real quick. I had given up. I knew that I was addicted to, I finally realized I was addicted to nicotine and caffeine, that I could not control how much I took it in.
Marilyn. Hey, Marilyn. Oh. Marilyn's a good friend of mine in New Mexico.
Oh, I love New Mexico.
Yeah, this is Helene, and she lives in New York City. You guys should totally connect next time you're in New York City. Angie has a great apartment if you ever need some place to stay. You don't mind that I said that.
To 4,000 people? No, I don't mind at all.
Right. No, only like none. No. It's not 4,000
but
people.
If you want to wander around a city of 8 million going, do you know where Helene? How about Helene? She's a friend of Vera's, and you find me, then I will put you up.
No, trust me. Even though it says 4,000, like only a few actually, like real stalwart people show up on my lives. The rest of you, I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But anyway, so my friend Helene was just sharing that she was 238 pounds.
58.
58 pounds.
Yeah. I want every pound in my story.
And then tell me now, how tall were you when you were 200?
5'2", the same height I am now.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'm less than half the size.
How did you move? How did you walk upstairs? How did you do the? I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be 58 pounds.
It was uncomfortable, but I I had also had exposure to, in the 70s, the concept that, every body gets to be on the beach, fall in love, be treated properly by the medical establishment, be treated properly, get jobs, not be discriminated against. So I knew that. But still but the hardest problem was to my self-esteem, because why couldn't I control what I put in my mouth? It's calories in, it's calories out. It's a physics question. It's a math question. And then I found a program. Should I mention the program? I can just say a
12-step program for food addiction.
And I will just say briefly, because this is not the purpose of this session, is I learned that I had overwhelming urges for certain foods, basically sugar and flour products.
Yeah.
That it was neurologically, emotionally, and spiritually based. Neurologically and biologically. And I thought that the problem was my weight, but the weight was the result of my inability to deal with the urges to eat. And so now I lost the weight. and I've learned to deal with the urges, and they're few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of the dealing with the urges and learning, that allowed me to eat healthy. I couldn't eat healthy before because the urges just kidnapped my brain.
And that's the thing with cancer, is that there's a lot of people out there who want healing from cancer, but they're too addicted to flour and sugar, right?
Yes.
And they can't stop. So what is this book, Radical Remission, talk about in the beginning chapter? The first chapter is Cancer Fighting Nutrition, radically changing your diet. And that's the first thing they say, radically changing your diet. And you know what they recommend? She recommends that is common with all the Radical Remission survivors. And do you know what a Radical Remission survivor is? It's someone who outlived the prognosis of cancer. Okay. When they said to me, "Oh, you have 3 to 6 months to live," right?
Yeah.
Or they say to somebody, "You have," and that's the algorithm of the standard that they've been accustomed to.
Yes.
That is not. That's that's within the lines of what they're used to. That's statistical.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
So these Radical Remission cases, like myself, are the outliers.
Yeah.
They're the people who they don't study in depth, because why? Because it's not applicable to everybody.
Yeah.
And so that's why she wrote this book.
Because they weren't taught it. They weren't. I mean, I think the medical community is taught towards pharmacology, which there is some wonderful medications out there for things. I don't want to speak on cancer, but they're not taught a lot about nutrition unless somebody has scurvy or some.
You know what she said? They have a week.
Yeah.
In all their doctoral training.
Yeah.
Becoming an MD, a week to study nutrition.
Right, and probably not very much about urges, and which is what stops people from eating healthy, I think.
An addiction. Yeah.
An addiction. Yeah.
So the first thing that she noticed with people who had outlived this prognosis, one of the first things was changing their diets, right? Yeah. Radically changing their diets.
Right.
And so there was many factors to a radical remission.
Yeah.
But there was 9 key factors. And so each week we're going through another key, another factor. And so within that paradigm, right, of radically changing your diet, there's 4 main components. Okay. So here's the first component. Number 1, greatly reducing or eliminating sugar, meat, dairy, and refined foods.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Right.
That's huge. And that's something that a lot of people can't do by themselves. Right?
Right.
They can't do that by themselves.
And they also think it's just for calories that you do it. But it's really to reduce is to I think you get to eat healthy when you're not being bombarded by those overwhelming addictive urges. And sugar feeds those addictive urges.
And sugar can feed cancer.
Yes.
Glucose feeds cancer.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main reasons why we get off of the processed sugar. Now, fruit sugar is different, and it's recommended to have a low glycemic index fruits, such as berries, right? Such as green apples.
Yeah.
Those are low glycemic index fruits.
Yeah.
Do you know what fruits are high glycemic index, guys? Does anybody want to guess out there what's high glycemic index?
The Caribbean ones.
Caribbean ones, yeah, like papayas and mangoes.
Yeah.
But also bananas. Bananas are very high glycemic index. So I I used to eat bananas like it was my job. I was like monkey, you know, I was like always eating bananas because they're so yummy and sugary. Oh, and grapes. Like, I hate to put a poo-poo in your platter, but I mean, seriously, some of the most exciting fruits are loaded with glucose, and that's, I mean, it's still better than eating like a chocolate bar,
Yeah.
you know, or eating like processed sugar.
Yeah.
And you know, everything though these days has sugar in it. Everything.
I know sometimes they put it in tuna fish.
In tuna fish?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you always have to ask them, you know, especially at restaurants, do you put sugar in this?
Yeah.
Have you put sugar in this? And like, I've been to restaurants where they're like, everything has sugar.
Right.
I was just in Utah and we went to and it's like, I said, just steam it and just please, like, make it special for me. So anyway, all right. The second one is greatly increasing vegetable and fruit intake. Again, think about the fruit. So don't eat bananas all day long. You know, stick to the berries and the green apples and the berries of all kinds, but make sure it's organic, right? Why? Why do we have to make sure it's organic?
Because the pesticides are bad for us. I don't. That our bodies are not designed to absorb pesticides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, what's the third one here? Eat organic foods, and get a good fruit wash. You know, I work for a company that has a great fruit wash. If you're ever interested, and yeah, just wash the fruit, because again, the water, we don't know about the water, especially in certain areas. Yeah. But I know how it is. I know. Am I always like super vigilant about doing the fruit wash? No. Sometimes I'm just like, whatever. But especially if you're not eating organic, please do some washing. Yeah, do some washing.
And there's
soaking.
You know, the Environmental Working Group has something called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. That's very helpful for people.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you know? What the Dirty Dozen?
The Dirty Dozen, in general, if you have limited income and you can't always afford organic, you want to, let's see, the fruits or vegetables that have a skin that's peeled, they tend to be less affected by pesticides.
Right. They tend to be on a safer side.
But berries and apples,
they absorb,
and apple
they suck in the pesticides.
Right.
They love it. They're like,
right.
Yeah, that's what a berry is.
Try to get organic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And there are legal definitions of organic in terms of how the food can be grown, but products that just say natural, there's no definition. There's no definition. And so you in the grocery stores, the organic food can be very expensive. I mean, if you go to, there are other, I don't want to start naming names, but there are places where, in regular stores, they'll often have a small container of what they call natural lettuce, healthy lettuce, but it's not organic, and per pound it's very expensive. But I don't want to do any more talking. You're running the class.
No, it's
I'm
fine.
Here to observe.
It's fine. It's totally fine. I mean, you have so much experience dealing with addiction, and you have so much experience dealing with sugar addiction.
Yeah.
And so I think that either way, it's beneficial. Look, I taught this on Tuesday. So if people want to refer back to when I taught it the first time, but this is interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that you're going to speak to somebody out there who is, you know, struggling with their weight. They're struggling with addiction to sugar and flour, because I've never been obese. Mm-hmm. I came in bulimic.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like to be huge. I don't.
Right.
But I empathize greatly with people who are overweight. I do.
And we had in my opinion, an underlying core issue, which was we could not eat moderately
Mm-hmm.
and healthy. We couldn't do it. Yours came out with bulimia. Mine came out with overeating, which eventually turned into binging.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the big issue. And I did not have any idea that I was addicted to it. And I just kept trying to eat. I kept trying to eat whatever I wanted, but in moderation. And it didn't work. I had to. But when I stopped the sugar and flour products, the urges went down. And
that's the thing people don't realize.
Yeah.
That it's like an addiction to a drug.
Yeah.
That when you stop it, you're going to have symptoms.
Yes.
You are.
Yeah.
You are going to have symptoms.
Yeah.
You might feel nauseous.
Right.
You might feel
exhausted. Not able to concentrate.
Right.
You can Google symptoms of, when you're in withdrawal from products.
So it's like anything, like getting off of cocaine, getting off of crack.
Right.
I mean,
right.
like, and especially when people start getting off of the caffeine, that's some serious stuff.
Yeah.
So, why we joined a 12-step program for food addiction is because we could not manage that all by ourselves. Yeah. Some people are magical and they can do it by themselves.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. People are just, one day, I'm done with this processed sugar. I'm done with this processed flour.
Yeah.
But other people need support.
Yeah.
And that's what the point of a 12-step program is. It gives you extra support. So when you're trying to put down alcohol, when you're trying to put down drugs, when you're trying to put down relationships with men or women that are addictive, like your sex addict. Yeah. Some guy just told me he's a sex addict.
Yeah.
And like, we're going to work together. And I'm like, uh-oh. Hopefully no. Oh no. I told him I'm married. Clutters. There's Clutters.
Right.
Anonymous. There's what else is there?
There's adult children of alcoholics and dysfunctional families. It's officially added, and dysfunctional families.
Oh.
And that's separate from Al-Anon, which is adult children of alcoholics.
And there's so many. And it started with one.
Yeah.
Dr. Bob and Bill W.
Right.
Basically, these two men from Cleveland, Ohio.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. They started this, and it's really a remarkable story. Mm-hmm. There's a play about it.
Yeah.
Did you see the play?
I saw the play.
I didn't see the play, but I heard there's a play.
It was fun because the audience in meetings, when somebody introduces themselves, the audience always says hello. Like somebody says, "My name is Helen." The audience will go,
"Hello,
hi, Helen."
Hello.
So there was a play about the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous, and the actor who played the character stood up and said, "My name is Bill W. and I'm an alcoholic," and the whole audience, which was mostly alcoholics who were sober, said, "Hello, Bill W."
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
So these two men started this thing that has taken over the whole world, and it's like, it's free. That's the most beautiful thing, that you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay to lose my addiction. I didn't have to pay, and I did. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. That's why I survived 4 cancers. So all this to say that if you are out there and you are struggling with food addiction,
mm-hmm.
if you cannot pass a fast food restaurant without thinking to want to go in there, and if you're binging your emotions on food, this is the first step. The first step is admitting that you have a problem.
Yeah.
It is admitting, and I didn't intend for this class to go to this direction, but we're here together because we have a whole conference this weekend all about this coming together and recognizing this disease,
right.
this destroying lives. Like every day I see young kids and their parents
Yeah.
and the obesity, and it kills my soul, because we can't just go up to people and say, hey, you want a flyer? We wish we could, but it's an anonymous program.
Yeah.
And that's why when I put this on my podcast, I have to take out the name, because that's public. This is private.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the hard thing, is like, we have something so beautiful, so magical, so amazing, that can save lives, and we can't even talk about it publicly.
Yeah.
We can't talk about it publicly.
Yeah.
And that people say, oh, how did you survive cancer? 4 times. Well, this is the foundation.
Yeah.
You know why it's the foundation? Do you know why?
Well, because we eat every day. Is that, would you
No,
say?
no.
What is the foundation? Because
why? What is the foundation of why I survived 4 cancers? Come on, put your thinking cap on.
your spirituality.
Well, yes, that's a huge one. And that's,
Oh.
that's part of this book too. Radical Remission is, the spiritual part is like huge. Okay.
And emotional healing.
Again, very much a part of this book of
Okay.
Radical Remission. You're on the right track. Keep digging, digging. Why did I survive when conventional medicine failed?
I don't know. You'd have to tell us.
And that's what I'm leaving you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Fasting.
Oh, right. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah.
I survived because I fasted for 67 days. And it cleaned out my whole body. It cleaned out the cells. Yes, I almost killed myself because I basically got down to 90 pounds. But I broke my fast in a third world country, so I don't recommend doing that.
Yeah.
And I had to be rushed to the hospital. But in any event, I survived, right?
Yeah.
Because my body was primed after 67 days for the magic juice, which I call the medicine they gave me. I'm still taking the magic juice. That's the only medicine I take.
Yeah.
The magic juice, the conventional Western medicine magic juice. And my body was so primed that, what do you need? Joe, do you need something? Okay. So any event, the reason why is because, how did I do it for 67 days?
I don't know. I'm waiting to hear the story, just like your audience.
The reason,
because I think that's amazing.
The reason being is because I've been in a food addiction program for 20 years, 21 years.
Yeah.
So the premise is, and we didn't talk about this, not eating in between meals.
Yeah.
Not snacking.
I have to turn off
I haven't snacked. You haven't snacked in 21 years.
I'll be back.
Okay. Okay. So that is the foundation, guys. That is the foundation, in the sense that if you're not eating in between meals, it's going to be helpful for you when you're fasting. So you can start to train your body. You can train your metabolism. So it's like training a dog. Your metabolism is a wild dog, right? And by fasting in between meals, doing intermittent fasting, that is the first step. So intermittent fasting is the first step to fasting. And fasting is like the king of kings for cancer fighting nutrition. All right, is the king of kings for cancer fighting nutrition. So I was saying that not eating in between meals is the king of kings for fasting.
It prepares you.
It prepares you. It is. Say you want to run the Boston Marathon, right? Do you think you just go and qualify for the Boston Marathon after one try? No. You have to train and train and train and train.
Right.
And that's what we do every day. We tell our bodies, and of course, the first year, very challenging. The second year gets a little better. You start to work on the emotions. Because what does a food addict do when they're uncomfortable?
We eat.
We eat. What does a drug addict do when they're uncomfortable?
We
They
eat
they drug.
and
They do.
here's-
What does the alcoholic do when they're uncomfortable?
And I
They
think
drink.
the dilemma
addiction.
is it does work temporarily.
Yes.
It does
Yes,
work.
yes.
I can't deny that when I overate, and maybe when you were bulimic, it numbed me out.
Mm,
The problem is that it wears off,
yeah.
and you got to keep doing it to stop the emotional pain.
Yeah. We
And-
all have emotional pain,
Yeah.
right?
And I think there is and then they have done experiments where they, with mice, and when offered cocaine, which is highly addictive, or sugar, over time they want the sugar. I mean, there is biological, neurological basis for the addiction.
Studied.
Ultra processed foods like sugar rush into the body, and it can't.
Right.
It's really bad. It can't process it, and yet it sets up this reward cycle.
Yes. So people, they're unbeknownst to them, unbeknownst to them.
Yeah.
And so in any event, fasting, and it's all in the first chapter of the benefits of fasting and why fasting is so important for fighting cancer. And it's what I do with people when they want to learn. I take them through the journey of fasting. I do that once a month, and I do it for a week. So you can either fast for a day, you can either fast for 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. Within that week, I'm here helping you. You know why? Because I'm fasting too. And that was one thing I needed to do when I was fasting. I didn't need to just sit around and sleep all day, because people think, oh, I'm gonna be so tired, I'm gonna sleep all day. No, you actually get super energized. You get super energized. Do you know why?
No.
Because our bodies have adapted to fasting.
Oh, okay.
On the African savannah.
I just wanted to tell you, because I feel bad that you keep turning around to look at me. You could look at me straight ahead, and then you don't have to turn around. I mean, you can turn around
my
if
hair
you
looks
want.
cute like this.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't want you to think that.
I know that's true.
I'm not looking at Helen, and
right. I can look at you there. On the African savannah, I'll just talk to you like this. On the African savannah, what were our ancestors doing? Were they eating all day?
No.
Okay.
They couldn't.
Okay. What were they doing?
Hunting or growing the food, right? Or gathering it.
Growing was not we're talking hundreds of thousands of years ago.
I guess they were gathering the food.
Modern agriculture is 12 to 15,000 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's a blip of nothing.
Yeah.
We're talking going back hundreds of thousands, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, to our ancient ancestors 5 to 4 million years ago.
Yeah.
All the homos, right? All the homos.
Oh, yeah. She means Homo sapiens.
I know. Homo sapien, Homo sapien, Homo neanderthalis, Homo heidelbergensis, Homo florensis. I mean, I'm a nerd with this stuff. I love it. And because it's so fascinating. It's incredibly fascinating to me. And so, essentially, our ancestors would either scavenge, right? They'd either scavenge, or they would hunt together. They would do it together, right? It was a very dangerous thing to do, because you either get killed by the animal, or maybe perhaps another species, like human species, that would want that as well, or another animal that would want it as well, right? So it was a precarious situation. So when you captured an animal, right, you ate every bit of it, right?
Yeah.
And initially there was no fire, so you couldn't even, you just ate it raw. You'd break open the bone, and you'd eat the bone marrow,
Right.
And the bone marrow was so full of fat and protein. That's what helped build our brain.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. Fascinating. Are you fascinated by this?
Yeah,
stuff?
I am.
I'm fascinated by this stuff. I just like talking about it. So all this to say is that they feasted and famined. They feasted and famined.
Yeah.
And when they would go back to their little caves or big caves or whatever caves, and they didn't eat for, it could be days, it could be weeks. Do you think biologically they just died?
Yeah.
No. They came out of that cave with more energy, with better perception. It's a miracle of science, of our evolution, that we evolved fasting.
Mm-hmm.
We evolved this way. So that's why in our modern day culture, it is so diseased, because we are not meant to be eating all the time. We are not. This is against our genetic code.
Yeah.
And if you follow the work of Thomas Seyfried, Jason Fung, Mindy Pellets, did I say her name right? I don't even know. You will learn all about the biology of this. And there's also an amazing Indian doctor named Pradip, and I always butcher his last name. But these are the scholars of what I'm talking about. All right. So this is something that if you know more about the history, and when you know about the science, you become even more convinced of why we should be doing this. And so, is it just for cancer? No, it could be for everything. Parkinson's, Alzheimer, joint pain. I mean, whatever the issue is, this is the way you clean out your system, especially after you've had chemotherapy, immunotherapy. Your organs can still hold on to the chemicals. Do you know that?
Yeah.
And so are you getting tired?
I'm a little tired because I was up very late last night.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
No, don't wrap it up because of me.
Are you having fun?
I'm having a good time. And it has nothing to do with what Vera's talking about. I just stayed up way too late trying to pack when I was half asleep.
Right.
So everything took hours.
Okay. We're gonna wrap 5 minutes, and we're gonna wrap it up.
No, you don't have to do it.
No. I need to get to bed too.
Oh.
I need to make all my food for this weekend.
Okay. Do we want to give them the website or just
no, because it's, again, this is it's going to be public.
Okay. All right.
But if you want the website, send me a message or just put it in the comments. Put it in the comments, right? And if you're listening to this on a podcast, you can also reach out to me. Thank you, Vera, for your dedication to teaching this. Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. I always love it when someone actually gives me praise.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like, who am I talking to out there? Is anybody listening?
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm listening because my life was saved.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me. It was my naturopath, and she never charged me. She never charged me for this information, for the fasting information. She didn't teach me about the whole, she didn't teach me about our Neanderthal cousins or whatever. No, it was about why this works, why this works so well.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'm just very grateful to be teaching this now. And if I was to die tomorrow, God forbid, this is what I'd want to go down and teaching about this sort of stuff, because I'm so passionate about it. I'm so passionate. Is it hard sometimes? Yes. I still fast every month. I do it for a week. And again, you're welcome to join me at any point, in that journey, and teach yourself, even if it's just for a day. Right?
Yeah.
Some people are just like, I can't even do a day. Like we have we have a holiday, a Jewish holiday called Yom Kippur. It's only one day. The Muslims have the Ramadan. You know what's really low for Muslims? Cancer. You know why? Uh-oh, she fell asleep.
Sorry. It was because I was up all night, like a crazy person.
You literally fell asleep. You know, laughter is good medicine too.
Oh, laughter is great.
It's good medicine. They have laughing clubs in India.
Yes, I know.
Okay, you're gonna laugh at me, and then we'll terminate this.
No. Please don't terminate because I'm falling asleep because
You have to
I
laugh.
stayed up last night.
No, you're gonna laugh, and then we're gonna go to bed.
Okay.
Everyone laugh with me. All right, guys. That's it for tonight. Thank you again for listening. If you're listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching or listening to this educational program. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also my Substack, which is at The Cancer Goddess. We will have lots more programming, lots more interviews that will help you enrich your mind, body, and spirit in the face of cancer. Thank you.